Hello everyone, it is 8:48 p.m. on the first day of meteorological spring. Welcome to spring everybody, March 1st. Now spring is really kicking off down far to the south. They do have some severe weather ongoing down there in some places, even a couple tornadoes possible down in Arkansas, and there is a significant severe weather event likely in that area come tomorrow, and that significant severe weather event is also going to be included with the system that's going to impact our area come later this week. Friday, it looks like we could have a possible winter storm on our hands in the Great Lakes region with rain possible farther south. Make sure to subscribe, stay updated. We are going to continue to bring updates because there is still a lot of questions with this one. It again kind of is a similar setup to the ice storm, but luckily the pattern doesn't pattern's not going to be in place where there's going to be a lot of ice. So it looks like it's either going to be snow or rain for most people. So subscribe, stay updated, and we'll continue to provide updates on that regard. Let's get right to it right now. First of all, I do want to touch on, as we're kicking off spring today, meteorological spring, we do have a moderate risk of severe thunderstorms farther to the south. There is a tornado watch continuing across parts of the Arklatex region, and it just extended into parts of Tennessee as well. You do see that is an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms, and a significant tornado threat is actually included within that. So that is ongoing across parts of that region. And then tomorrow is also looking like a significant severe weather day in parts of the Arklatex region. Once again, a focus of possibly significant tornadoes, significant damaging wind gusts, and significant hail. All severe hazards that could be significant with all these storms. Very potent severe weather scenario appearing probable across that region during the day tomorrow. And it looks like you could have some thunderstorms even reaching up to parts of Indiana associated with that as well. And then even a little minimalistic risk of severe weather across parts of the southern border of the southern states, Indiana and Ohio, for the Great Lakes region. Looks like the chances of that are low. It was a very interesting day we had earlier this week with the tornado warnings that we had in Cedarville, Clifton, Urbana, those places. Saw some pictures of some very low-hanging clouds. Didn't look like there was any significant tornado damage, though, in those places. So that's good news for that regard. But this is going to be a day to watch tomorrow. This moderate risk in the Arklatex region. Some significant weather could occur with this event. So that's something to watch, but let's get back to the Great Lakes region, focus on what's happening here. Again, this is the Weather Prediction Center's website. You can access this freely on your own as well. What you see here is you do notice that this chart, I'm actually going to go to the interactive chart here so we can get a better view of the map. And let's zoom in on it real quick. I'm going to go full screen. Whoop. All right, let's zoom in here. All right, you do notice that this is the potential for Friday. Friday is when this begins. Notice here, wintry mix, a very heavy wintry mix with freezing rain possible, is focused in parts of southern Michigan and northern Indiana. Now, I don't think the freezing rain threat is going to be huge with this event, but it is there. Okay, so there is a chance that there will be some freezing rain and some icing in some spots. But I do think the bigger threat from this particular scenario is going to be snow, and I'll explain why I think that in just a minute. But you do notice that farther to the south, in parts of Indiana and Ohio, you do have that heavy rain. Again, we have another system going through that's going to be drawing up moisture from the Gulf, and it's going to bring severe weather to the south with that heavy rainfall to the north. Okay, so, and then freezing rain possible with a wintry mix. I do think that wintry mix is going to be more on the snowy side, not necessarily the freezing rain side. And I'm going to show why I would say that in just a minute. So this is what the National Weather Service is projecting for this particular event. I do want to go to their winter weather maps and show you what they think with regards to snowfall potential connected to this event. So the time that it really starts to kick off is going to be on Saturday. Okay, so actually Saturday 7 p.m. that's when the expectation for the heavier snow is beginning. You do notice that there is really not a large snow potential, or not really much a guarantee snow potential yet from the Weather Prediction Center just yet, because we still have a lot of mild variabilities. We have a northern mode that could bring more snow farther north and more freezing rain and wintry mix farther south, or we have a southern mode where much of southern Michigan is going to see snow, and then parts of northern Indiana, northern Ohio could see that wintry mix and freezing rain. And the two major models, the Euro and the GFS, are very, I guess, still deliberating into how to mesh this whole forecast together. So there's a lot of questions that we do need to answer with this. You do notice that as we progress a little bit forward to about 1 a.m. on Saturday, that it does show that the chance for greater than 1 inch of snow accumulation increases farther north and further increases as you head farther that way as well to the north. If I go to greater than 4 inches of snow, you do notice that the Weather Prediction Center does project that the heavier snow is going to be up farther north towards Midland, Flint, and Grand Rapids, and the lesser amounts of snow will be farther to the south. Now, there's still a lot of questions as to where the main brunt of the snow will fall, but currently the snow does appear to focus farther to the north. Now, some models have been shifting south, and I'm going to show you how the models differ right at this current moment. So let's go to the GFS model. I'm going to start off at a regional graphic just because we're going to focus on this winter storm during this video. But you do notice that by about 1 a.m. Friday, we do have rain already beginning to move into parts of southern Indiana and southern Ohio. That's at 1 a.m. on Friday. Progressing it forward, you can see that that begins to shift farther to the north. You have heavy rain occurring across Indiana, Ohio by 7 a.m. So this is heavy rainfall. And then you start to see it switch to snow as you get past that 546 line for the upper levels. Now, you do notice that that 540 line is shifting farther to the north slightly. Where that sets up could have some influence as to where that snow also falls as well. That 546 line seems to be the place where the snow is riding on. So you got to follow that as we go and see how that changes things as well. Now, there's definitely going to probably be some rumbles of thunder down here in Indiana and Ohio. You do have that line of very strong thunderstorms that just moved through the Arklatex region, lifting off to the east-northeast, coming into the area. I don't think there's going to be really any significant severe weather from this, but there could be some stronger winds with it, but I don't think anything too significant or things to be concerned too much about. But notice here, as we get to around 1 p.m., you do notice that there seems to be a very tight gradient between rain and snow that sets up right around the northern Indiana, northern Ohio line in the southern Michigan border. Again, similar to with that ice storm, but again, a lot less freezing rain, which is something we want to hear because some people in southern Michigan still don't have power, so don't want more ice, more icy impacts. But wintry mix definitely does appear like a very good possibility with this. Notice that those purples, that indicates a very heavy band of snow moving through that area. It's going to be extremely heavy snow. It could be that heavy wet snow farther to the south. Now, this is the GFS. Again, the GFS is playing much farther south mode right now with the latest models that are coming in. And it does show that that snow is going to get extremely heavy across parts of southern Michigan. If I have the chance on Friday, I am going to be out in this event because this is going to be a very heavy snow event. You could get 6 to 10 inches of snow in around less than 12 hours, which is a very significant amount of snowfall, or a very high snowfall rate, and it does continue until Saturday night when it finally begins to move out. And it will be slightly cooler on the backside, but I do think the temperatures will warm up next week to where it will melt off rather quickly. But that heavy snow event does appear probable. The question is where and how much. That's really the questions that we're asking still, even though we're only a couple days out from this. This is why I kind of wanted to wait until last minute, but I decided to do it a little bit earlier just so that people could be informed about what exactly is happening with this event. I don't want to go to this map just yet, so we're going to backtrack. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But again, let's compare the models real quick. Let's go to the Euro model. Let's see what they say regarding this event. So, going to when it begins, notice Euro now also showing that southern mode farther to the south. So that southern mode will bring that wintry mix and that heavy snow to parts of southern Michigan once again. With those changes in the models, I do think heavier snow could still be placed farther down to the south. And it does show, even with the Euro, that it wraps around and pushes even more snow down in parts of central Indiana as well. So the models do seem to be shifting south, the GFS and the Euro, but the HRRR and the NAM model, do have some variabilities with this setup as well. So I am leaning more towards the Euro GFS solution, but we're going to have to see exactly how that's going to play out in the next couple of model runs. But that's something I'm leaning towards. And again, the reason why I don't think it's going to be a primarily freezing rain event is because temperatures are going to be relatively above freezing right at the surface. Okay, so right at the surface is going to be above freezing, And we do have temperatures that cool down right before it reaches the ground, but with temperatures above freezing, I don't think it's going to really amount to a freezing rain event. But again, this is a really hard system to forecast because you do have that tight gradient between snow and rainfall once again, like we had with that ice storm. Again, we had forecasts for areas farther to the north getting more ice than the south, and the south happened to get the most ice, especially if you lived in Jonesville or Hillsdale. I was out there when the ice went through. You guys lost power, and you guys had a lot of damage out there. So it's going to be a tough one, but still good to be aware of and good to be informed of this event that's going to be moving through over the next couple of days. So that's going to move out once again. That's the Euro showing that. The NAM solution, if we go to the NAM3K, showing that setup again. Now notice how the NAM puts it. The NAM places it much farther north. This is the North American model. It does place it much farther to the north than what's projected. It puts a lot less snowfall potential shown on in this particular region here in southeast Michigan, and it does show that's going to be mainly rain. Now that's what the NAM's showing, but the GFS and the Euro models do show that southern mode and heavier snow. So still a lot of questions we have to answer here. And the NAM also is showing an interesting thing here that other models aren't showing. The NAM is showing ice, and it could be due to the fact that we do have that warming trend out ahead of the dendritic growth zone. You have that warming trend as the ice crystals fall, it melts into rain, refreezes before it reaches the surface where it cools. So again, temperatures are at freezing, so that could be difficult for freezing rain to possibly occur, but that's what the NAM is showing. Now look at the HRRR now. I hope the HRRR is fully updated. I believe it is. Good. I haven't had a chance to look at this one myself. So we're going to as far as we possibly can. Now notice that the HRRR is also playing that southern mode. I do think that the area of main focus for snowfall potential is going to be this region right where I'm circling with my pointer. Okay? Based on the three models, there does seem to be a lot more consistency between the GFS, Euro, and HRRR at this moment. I think the heaviest brunt of the snow is going to be in this region right here. So this is what we should watch for upcoming snowfall potential. So I would keep that in mind. Let's take a look at what the models point out for general snowfall accumulations. All right, comparing all the different models, let me refresh this page just so that we can ensure that we have all the latest information. I wanted to see if the HRRR will be included. I don't think it's going to be, but here we have the snowfall potential, okay? So snowfall focus for GFS, definitely parts of northern Indiana, southern Michigan, southeast Michigan, anywhere from 6 to 10 inches, even upwards of over a foot in some spots. This snow is going to be falling pretty quickly, okay, very quickly as a matter of fact. In a short period of time, going to be a lot of travel problems in the afternoon on Friday into Saturday, I think. This is going to be dump a lot of snow. Now the NAM, there's the NAM solution, plays it much farther to the north as I showed you earlier, okay? Plays it up where the focus of the heavy snow is going to be north of Grand Rapids. NAM3K, kind of similar to the regular NAM model. RDPS, not that much snow and placed much farther to the southeast. You see a big difference there. So a lot of differences in the models. The GDPS also showing that much farther southeastern play with a lot less snow. ECMWF kind of aligning with the GFS, but a little bit farther to the north. You do have those potential for snowfall of up to a foot or more. I really think the overall solution here is probably going to be 6 to 10 inches of snow roughly for a particular area in southern Michigan and maybe even in parts of northern Indiana as well. So that is the question that we will have to answer in the next couple of days. I do want to show the total precipitation accumulation as well for the south, Indiana and Ohio. You do notice that that rainfall accumulations could get pretty elevated with this event as well. You do have snowfall accumulation or rain accumulations of potentially up to 2 inches in the southern portion and then anywhere from 1 inch across Indiana and Ohio. And we've already had a lot of rain for quite a while across much of the Great Lakes region, leading to some ponding of water in yards. I have ponds of water in my yard as well. So it's gonna bring some impacts to potential for flooding in some spots, I think. So that'll just be something to watch and be aware of with this setup. Now the 10-to-1 ratio I'm going to use because that will be helpful in providing some more information. The NWS blend of models, again, showing a bit more of a lighter mode of snow and displacing it farther to the north. Now there's the reason why they're kind of forecasting, hey, I think the snow is going to be a little bit farther to the north, okay? UKMET, also following the setup for the GFS and Euro models. That's going right through this little area that I showed you previously. So, lots of disagreement, as you can tell, okay? And that disagreement is going to really start to dissipate as we get closer to the event. So it's likely I'll probably do a video tomorrow night for this event, or tomorrow afternoon, depending on how the models hold together, or Friday. We'll have to see how things unfold. Make sure you subscribe, and I will continue to update you as the models come closer together, do another breakdown of what's happening. But I'm going to end it here, and hopefully this video is helpful in getting information out to you. Share, like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do to get it out there, and that would be much appreciated. I mean, it's always appreciated. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.